Hi, Arizona Lawyer Julie LaBenz here, and I want to share my top 5 tips if you are going to be walking into a courtroom for a divorce trial. This applies for anywhere in the state of Arizona. Number 1, keep in mind that your divorce trial is not your therapy session. This is not the time for you to, throw all sorts of mud at your soon-to-be ex-spouse, telling the judge every bad thing they ever did, how horrible they've been to you, the emotional, the verbal abuse. Most of that, the judge doesn't even want to hear about. It's going to go in one ear, out the other. You're going to lose your judge. It's not effective. There are ways to be effective if those things that you're raising are relevant to certain things in your case. But if you just are using this as an opportunity to vent and get your emotions out, you're in the wrong forum. So keep that in mind when you go into the courtroom. You need to be ready to present a rational case that the judge can follow in order for the judge to rule in your favor. So keep that in mind. If you just want to go in there and just complain, it's not necessarily going to be effective. You really need to make sure that the things that you're complaining about are relevant to the issues in your case. Number 2, prepare. You've got to be super prepared if you're walking into a divorce trial. And I'm going to lay out some ways to do that, but that's just going to be a tip on its own. Prepare. Number 3, a really helpful way to prepare is to draft a joint pretrial statement. It's required under the rules. The court is going to expect you to do this. Like I said, it's a joint statement, so you and your spouse are supposed to add to this document. There's a set form for it. You can find it online. Whether you have an attorney, your spouse has an attorney, however that works, the two sides are supposed to create this joint pretrial statement that lists out who your witnesses are, what your exhibits are, what the disputed issues are, what the agreements are, so that the judge has a nice summary going into the trial about what's at issue. So that can be really helpful in preparing because you have to fill it all out, and then that starts to, help you do your trial preparation to see what evidence you want to get forward, what questions you need to ask, and what those disputed issues are that you really need to focus on at the trial. So in addition to the pretrial statement, I highly recommend drafting a trial outline. I do this for every hearing or trial that I have that involves witness testimony. So my trial outline is where I lay out how the trial is going to go. It's like a script. It is a script. It starts out with opening statements. I write out what I'm going to say in my opening. Any preliminary issues the court needs to address, I'll have notes about those to make sure that we get those raised and answered before the trial starts. I've got my opening statement, and then I've got my witnesses, the other side's witnesses, and then I have questions for my witnesses, and I have cross-examination questions for the other side's witnesses, and I've got my closing argument. So the whole thing's drafted. I'm ready to go. Of course, I'm not totally stuck to it. I'm able to improvise and adjust to the actual testimony that's coming out. But boy, is it nice to have something to go to when you're there in the courtroom so that you're able to keep moving forward. You're not sitting there going, oh my gosh, there's so much going on. I'm so overwhelmed. What do I do now? Oh no, what's next? You've got your trial outline to go to. So that's really helpful. Number 5, so important to make clear requests to the court. What are you asking the judge to do? Of course, you're asking to get divorced, but what is your requested property division? What is your request regarding spousal maintenance? If you have kids, what are your requests regarding legal decision-making, parenting time, child support? You need to be walking into that courtroom telling the judge, this is what I want and why. So you got to make really clear requests to the court, and that's also going to help you with your trial preparation, because when you know what you're asking for, you can start building the evidence around that to show the judge why you're entitled to the things that you're asking for. And then we've gone through the top 5, okay? The divorce is not your therapy session. Prepare. Draft and file a joint pretrial statement. Draft a trial outline for you to use during the trial. Make clear requests to the court. And I have a bonus. I have a 6th tip for you as a bonus. Ask yourself, is my trial presentation clear and easy to understand? Please keep in mind, you've got to remember, the judge hears hundreds of cases. They're on the bench day in and day out, one thing after another. What are you going to do to grab that judge's attention and make sure they hear you? What are you going to do to make a clear presentation? Because they don't need to hear everything that's happened in your relationship, but they need to hear the key pieces of the story that prove your points. How you tell a story is so important. And so that's where you want to keep asking yourself, okay, is the judge going to understand what I'm talking about when I refer to certain events? Have I laid the foundation? Have I given the judge enough information so that they can follow along with what's happening? And one way to really help you make a clear presentation is to draft a timeline. Start laying out chronologically on a piece of paper what's happened. And then that can help you present your case in that same chronological format that can be much easier to follow for a judge. So I'm Arizona Lawyer Julie LaBenz. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. I appreciate all my viewers. Please like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know what questions you have. Let me know what you're doing to prepare for your next divorce hearing. Thank you so much. Bye.